Good morning, everyone. I'm Stacy Page here with Michelle Sloan, and welcome to Morning Vibes, weekly conversations to elevate how you live, think, and show up. So, before we dive in, if you are getting value from these videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. So, today, Michelle and I are extending a conversation that we often have about slowing down for a minute and really looking at our lives. What's working, what feels good, and being willing to be honest, being willing to be vulnerable with ourselves about what's showing up that is essentially mirroring some past version of ourselves, or at least not reflecting the version of ourselves that we are growing into. Hey,
Yes. Hi, Stacey.
Michelle.
That reminds me of a time, probably a lot of times, because I'm a girl who likes to start over, which freaks a lot of people out. But it's just how I grow. I get honest with myself. Is this making me happy? Am I fulfilled? Is this really what I truly want? And so I've done a few career changes, but most recently into the wellness therapy. So it was a time that I remember where it's not about taking that big leap. It's just first starts with you being honest with yourself. Do I want this? Can I allow it in and receive it, right? Because a lot of the times we can get in our way. It's like that quiet um, voice that we have inside. It's like, this isn't it. That happens to me a lot, but I'm a good listener. I've tuned that fork, that tuning fork, that internal voice, and I've really know how to listen to it. And so that's what I mean by honesty. So growth happens with honesty before it happens with you leaping into the next action.
Yep. For me, what I came to realize about myself is that if my little pinky finger felt fulfilled, I let that be enough versus, hey, let's go for being like fully fulfilled. And I think that part of it is because I am the glass is half full versus the glass is half empty type of a person. Other parts have to do with beliefs that I hold, programming, choosing to stay safe, choosing to stay small. It really became clear for me when I left my structured corporate style job where I made a lots of money, but the other areas of my life were depleted, completely unfulfilled in all the other areas. So eventually I made a shift, right? And as I moved into work that brought me fulfillment, like the heart centered work, following my heart, following my passion, following what brought me, what lit me up, I realized that I restricted the money flow. So, working really hard, I allowed for a lot of money. Moving into something that brought me joy and balance in my life, I restricted that money flow. So, doing what I loved, taking that risk was a big step, but I was still keeping the glass half full. So for me, it's yes, I absolutely want to be positive. I don't want to change that. I want to be grateful for that half filled cup. But what if the cup was full? Or what if the cup was like overflowing? Like, what would that feel like? And what would that be like?
Yes, because your life is built on patterns. It's not always intention, right? Your intention can be there, but what's your pattern? And so a lot of the times we stay in this comfort place. Like, do I want to leave my family, everything I know, all my all my comforting support systems? That for me was the biggest leap I ever made was leaving the state that I grew up in. But because comfort says you're fine, and comfortability is also kind of allows you to stay in this life prediction, and
Yeah.
which we like. We like to stay safe. We like to know. That's not how it works because we don't know. We will never know. We think we know, and that's a different mindset. So it's where growth says it's more like um you have to stretch, you have to reach, you have to be honest, and that is where I like to stay in that growth zone. Not that I don't like to be comfortable sometimes, but I'm aware of it. I'm making a choice from awareness. Is I'm not ready yet, I need more mental support, or I need education, or I need, and so I might search out, well, if I was going to do that, what would I need? And
Yeah.
then I'll search that out. That's usually my next step. So I've been honest, I do want to change. And then my next step is, what would it take for me to do this? And then I can write it all out and then I seek it out. So those are the steps that I take when I want to make a life change. And I know a lot of people are even college students or high school students, they're going into that next leap. What college should I go to? Or what should I do for a living? That also takes time. It takes whether you studied for that and you go on that path or you change your mind and you start somewhere else. Everything builds, everything's a stepping stone. I didn't go right into my major. I took a stepping stone, and that stepping stone moved to something else. Honest conversations got me into the corporate world, pretty much like it happened to you, Stacey.
Yeah. And I think those stepping stones are really important because I think what is important to remember is that we are wired for safety, right? It's like
Hmm.
our heart is craving and desiring for the growth. It's there's that part of us, I think the truth of us that is always looking to be bigger and to invite in more joy and peace and love and abundance and whatever those vehicles are that are going to get there, but we are wired to be safe. Like our brain doesn't like change because it doesn't register as safe. So I think those stepping stones and the awareness allows us to move into those stepping stones with a little bit more ease, I'll say. Like for me, what I always do is I'll have to ask myself, like, where am I settling? Where am I allowing half full to be enough? And for me, that helps to open up the path within. Now, at least I've begun to open up, and then I start seeing where the thought patterns are and where the words that I speak and where the actions that I'm doing on a daily basis are supporting. It's like I can see it. It's like, oh, this is supporting the version of me that is staying safe. And here's those little tweaks I can make and step into some of the anxiety and kind of go into some of my breathing and grounding techniques. These are the things that are going to bring me into moving into that full cup or overflowing cup. So it's, are they reflecting fulfillment that's deep
Hmm.
and overflowing, or am I kind of fooling myself and letting the pinky finger fulfillment being enough, really?
Yeah, it's interesting because reality very rarely um, allows comfort to let you expand. And so I think about that a lot. Am I expanding or am I comfortable? And am I growing? So because I think growth asks you to stretch, it asks you to be uncomfortable. So I know when I'm uncomfortable, I am growing, I'm expanding, I'm doing something different. And it's telling yourself, your purposes. We're all a unique divine fingerprint for a reason. We all have unique beliefs, ideas, our own purpose to be here. And sometimes it takes time for you to figure out that purpose or really be fulfilled. Like you keep saying fulfilled. Like when I think, well, what does a fulfilled life for me look like? It means I'm thriving because we're wired to thrive. That's our human design. Like everything is possible. We live in a world of unlimited possibilities. So for me, what does that feel like? It definitely feels like I'm choosing, actively choosing what my heart truly wants, what my soul is calling for. But first, it takes that listening, that honest awareness.
And I would just tack on to that, like the reminder to be gentle with yourself and the reminder to
Mhm.
celebrate every single step that you're taking that is leaning into the growth and the comfort, getting out of the comfort zone. Um, the one final thing that I was thinking about is just to remember kind of the basics, right? That our life is a direct reflection of what we're thinking, saying, and doing on a daily basis. So, just to bring it all back, that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So, when you want to change something in your life, I know there's a tendency to change the job, change the relationship, throw everything away without really taking a look at what's working because it's just it's frustration. But when we do that without really looking a little bit deeper, we just recreate the same things because we're going to stay in that safety zone. Sustainable change doesn't work when we're working in effect, right? It doesn't work when we're just, I mean, yes, there might be times to change the jobs and change the relationships, but if that's the area that we're working on, we're going to recreate. So it really becomes about slowing down, taking a look, and then bringing that awareness, like we talked about, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that awareness to what am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I doing? And what is this bringing me? Is this bringing me this old version of myself, or is this moving me towards the version that I want to become? And it's not easy, but it really is that simple.
Yeah. And I know something that you do a lot, Stacey, is you start with the end result. What would my life look like if I chose this? And so we can see it, we can have that vision. And then we work backwards because we understand what it is and where we're going. So we have a clear vision of, I want it to look like this. And then
Yeah,
everything from there falls into place because you hold that vision high. And so that's what I love about growth too, is remembering the reason, the purpose, the clarity, the vision. It's always important to stay in question. I think one of the nice things is once you get honest with yourself, you always have that ability to choose again.
yeah. And you just reminded me that it was Michael Beckwith, from Agape in, Los Angeles. It was Michael Beckwith who really brought that to light for me. He's like, "What questions are you asking? Are you asking, 'Why am I stuck?' What's going on here? Why is my job this or my relationship that?' Or are you asking, 'God, why is my bank account so overflowing? Why is money coming to me from all these sources? Why am I in the best relationship?'" It's like, ask the questions to the answers that you actually want, because the universe is going to respond to you either way. It's going to respond to you and say, "Oh, this is exactly why your bank account is low and your relationships are this and that," or it's going to lay out the path and say, "Oh, this is why all these things are flowing in your life." So just to bring that awareness to just again thinking about our thoughts and our questions. What questions are you asking?
Yeah, absolutely. And when something amazing happens, that windfall, like when I just did my taxes and I was like, oh, I only owe so little. I was like, yes, more of this, please. Less bills.
Yes, yes.
So just reaffirming, what it is you do want and staying focused on the positive of sometimes we have a tendency to be like, oh, that could never happen to me
Yep,
up until now. Like I always add that little comment when I catch myself
yep,
in the phrases of this is so hard because I don't know, but once I know it won't be. So
yep,
it's always too in how we're talking to ourselves. And so that's another thing I'm always fine tuning and erase, whatever, whatever you need to do in the end.
yep.
I know
Mindset.
you're big on words, Stacey.
Yes, I am.
So this with you and you know someone who might benefit from it, please share, like, subscribe. And until next week, stay honest, keep getting uncomfortable, and keep choosing a life that you desire. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.